What up, beautiful people? For Haley's here. So let's talk about staying away from surface level, emotionally unavailable relationships. And this video is for men and women, but mostly for women because I had this experience. So I'm talking to my ladies out there who's watching this, who's listening to this, but this video goes both ways. So I've been in a relationship where the man was emotionally unavailable, and I don't ever recommend that for ladies, for men who's listening to this, because you are going to have a hard time. You're going to have a horrible experience, and you're going to feel like you are dating a wall, you're dating a ghost. You're going to feel like you're alone in a relationship. Being with someone who's emotionally unavailable, they don't have the capacity, they're not in the right mindset to be in a mature relationship, because when you're emotionally unavailable, you shut down your feelings. You can't have uncomfortable conversations. You are not connecting on an emotional level. Everything is just basic. It's very surface level. And I mean, like, if you don't have that deep connection, if you don't have that strong bond, a strong foundation, it is not the relationship that you should be in or you should continue to be in. Now, for a lot of y'all women, I get it. Y'all have been in these relationships. Y'all probably are still going through these kind of relationships, but understand that when you're dealing with a man who's emotionally unavailable, you're never going to change him. You can't change him. You can't force someone to change. You can't force someone to be different. You either going to have to accept it and respect it and move forward, or you're gonna have to change how you deal with them. I personally feel like if you're not happy, you're not getting your wants, your needs, your emotional connection met, I strongly feel like you can't change them, but you can change how you deal with them. And I'm saying this because you are in a relationship with someone who's emotionally unavailable, where you feel unheard, where you feel misunderstood, where you feel like everything that you're saying is going one ear out the other. You're not getting the feedback that you want. You're not getting the energy that you're putting out, that you're reciprocating to that person. Their feelings are shut down. They cannot even talk to you on that type of level. And it just means that there's nothing wrong with you and there's nothing wrong with them, but that person needs to heal. That person needs to grow. That person needs to do some inner work. They don't need a relationship with you. Honestly, they need a therapist. They need a counselor. Maybe they need a cat. But I feel like for a lot of us women, we stay in these relationships because we feel like we're going to change this guy. We're going to change the outcome. And what we're typically doing is we're trying to force this person to understand us, to grow with us, to communicate with us, to open, be a little bit more vulnerable to us. But we're actually damaging ourselves. We're losing ourselves in the process, trying to force or make a relationship work. And you're never going to change someone to be how you want them to be. So the only thing that you can do is change how you deal with them. This is who they are. And when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Because if they want to change, if they want to have that emotional capacity to even be with you, to even grow with you and evolve with you, they will change. And if you can't make them change, you either going to have to accept it or move on, let it go. You don't want to be in a relationship where it's very surface level. You know, when you're coming home to your partner, it's like, hey, how's work? You know, where you can't have uncomfortable conversations, where you can't talk about your future. This is not a relationship where you can get married and have a successful, thriving marriage. This is not a relationship that thrives. This is a relationship that is trying to survive on a thread. This is the kind of relationship where you're going to be walking on eggshells because you have to watch what you say. You have to watch how you react to things. You know, your partner can reciprocate that energy, where they could communicate with you, where they could comprehend. You want to be in a relationship where your partner not only comprehends what you're saying, but they could communicate. They can give you respectable feedback where your feelings are being met. The relationship has to be equal and it has to be reciprocated. And what I noticed is that when I was dating someone who was emotionally unavailable, I felt like the relationship was so one-sided. I felt so alone. You might as well be alone if you're with someone and they make you feel lonely. If you're with someone and you feel like you can't even talk to them, you feel like they're not even there for you. I'm not saying your significant other has to be a therapist, has to be a counselor. No, I'm not saying that. But I feel like in every relationship, your man, your wife, your girl, your boyfriend, they should make you feel where you could communicate with them and the energy feels safe. The energy feels heard, where you want to talk to them, where you feel comfortable talking to them, where you feel like your partner got your back. And when you're dealing with someone who's emotionally unavailable, it's very one-sided because they're not vulnerable with you. They don't know how to respond to feedback, and you can't be mad at them for this. This is maybe not their fault, but I feel like the reason why people become like this is because men or women, I feel like because it becomes from childhood, especially men, when they're raised in homes where they were taught not to cry, where they were taught to keep their feelings and emotions to themselves. You know, men were taught at home, like if you cry, you a little girl. So men would always suppress their feelings. They would always keep their emotions in. That's why they become so unavailable emotionally, on a emotional connection where they can't talk, where they can't really give feedback, because they don't want to show that side where they're very vulnerable. So it all starts from childhood. It could start from trauma, from mental health. It could stem from their priorities, their circumstances, who they surround themselves with. You know, that all stems from somewhere. And I feel like men or women, if you're listening to this and this is who you are, you're very unavailable on an emotional level, I feel like before you get into a relationship, do some inner work within yourself, because you will sabotagely mess up your next relationship, your next blessing. And it just means that you're not at that state of mind to be in a relationship. You honestly just need to work on yourself internally before you get into a relationship. You have to heal from your past. You have to heal from your trauma, because there's probably a version of you that is still broken. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this and you're watching this and you are attracting people that the relationship is very surface level, you know, there's probably a version of you that is still hurt, that is still damaged. There's probably a version of you that is still not healed. What you are, you do attract. I truly do believe in the law of attraction. When I was attracting toxic people, there was versions of me. There was a side of me that was still toxic. There was a side of me that was still broken, that I was not healing from. So if you really don't want to attract these emotionally unavailable people, you have to do work within yourself. You have to really get to know yourself, love on yourself, better yourself, change who you are as a person so that you can attract the right person for you. But in my personal opinion, I would stay away from people that is emotionally unavailable. They're not going to change. They're not going to understand. You know, you're going to feel lonely most of the time. You're going to be miserable with this person. You're going to be fighting a battle within yourself. Your partner is not going to help you. Your partner can't even save what y'all got, because he can't even save his own self. You know, he's fighting something within his mind. He's not there yet. He doesn't have the capacity to even meet you halfway in the relationship. So it's just not fair for both parties. Honestly, your partner needs to do a lot of healing and a lot of personal development work, and you need to just do better to attract better people for your life. It's not something I would ever recommend. I would stay away from these kind of people, because you are gonna waste your time, their time, and it's so much time that has been wasted where now you're gonna become bitter, you're gonna have resentment, you're gonna have so much anger, because you wasted your time on someone that wasn't mature enough to even be in a relationship with you. But if you're constantly attracting toxic people, negative people, emotionally unavailable, there's a version of you that you still have not grew from. There's a version of you that you still have to heal. And it all starts with you. So if you like more content like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts, and I'll be back for more videos.